up? So, you're joining me on board in Ferrari Roma. Now we are trailing a red Opel SUV or crossover, whatever that is, in a very cloudy Berlin weather. So, today we are invited by Ferrari to kind of like meet and greet event to test drive a Ferrari Roma for an hour. And I'm gonna tell you guys my first driving impression of Ferrari Roma. So this car is powered by 3.9 liter V8 built by Ferrari, good for 620 horsepower, and the torque I just don't remember. But having driven it now, I can tell you one thing. It is not a pure GT car, surprise, surprise. So it is Ferrari's take of GT car. Means it has more power, it is sportier, and the steering wheel, it is so sensitive. The second that you point car to one direction, it will go there, which can be a bad thing or a good thing. But I'm a big GT car fan. It's like, you know, I'm not a racing driver or anything, so for me sometimes it can get a little bit too much. But I guess if it's a Ferrari, it needs to be a Ferrari, right? It does have to have this Ferrari DNA. And actually, the background of Ferrari creating the Roma is actually to take you to the racetrack, so you can drive your 488 Pista across the weekend, I guess. So yeah. But let's go to the things that I like and things that I don't like about Roma. Things that I like, number one, is of course the looks. Like, I think we can just agree to the fact that the car is beautiful from outside, and from the inside, if you don't sit on it and if you don't start the car, it looks futuristic, which is not really Ferrari-like. But yeah, so that's the first thing, the looks. It looks amazing. I love it, and it's really a car that you can see at the road and like, oh wow. I don't know what it is, but it looks good. And the second thing that I like about Ferrari Roma, the power delivery is just so good. Like, it's so effortless. And I was driving this car in a wet setting because the street was wet. It was quite cold and there were leaves on the street, right? So my instructor totally restrict me to change the mode, so it was wet all the time. And even in the wet settings, it still has sound. And the moment you put your foot on the gas, the car goes. So it's not laggy, it's not slow. You are still fast, even though it's in the wet setting, which means it will get you there safely, right? And in some cars, if you put things to, like, I don't know, BMW used to have this eco mode, or I don't know, comfort or comfort plus, means there will be less sound, the car will be a little bit sluggish, and some other stuff. But in Roma, it is still fast, it is still quick, as you can see in the video when we overtake the Opel. Yeah, it can go just like that. So that's also, I think that has something to do with the statement that this car has Ferrari DNA, even though it has the engine in the mid front and it has booth, right? The third thing that I like about the Roma is the fact that they offered us 7 years guarantee. So I guess it makes the proposition of having or owning a Ferrari a little bit more attractive Because some people will say like, Ferrari, I don't know. It's one thing to buy it, it's second thing to own it, because they can get you, and they will get you in the service and maintenance. Well, one thing that we cannot forget is that this service free means they're doing it for free, just for the service. If something needs to be repaired or to be changed, like spark plugs or brakes or tires, you will pay for that. Right? And I heard from a friend of mine who drive several Ferraris, or have several Ferraris, the most expensive part of owning Ferrari is when you change the consumables, when you try to, to repair them. That's the most expensive part. So yeah, and with that we are moving to things that I don't really like, or things that I hope Ferrari gonna make better. The first thing is the seat. It is not very comfy, and strictly speaking, a GT car is a car that's supposed to go thousands of miles in a go, means you can do cross-country, cross-continent in it. And sitting in Roma, I'm not sure if I want to go thousands of miles in that car. I'm not sure. If the question is if I can, of course I can. But if I want, it's a different question. Second thing that I don't like about Roma is the brake. I don't know if it was because of the wet mode or maybe that the car is not yet run in, but the brake was quite grabby, and it's really hard to modulate the brake. I mean, in comparison to another car with carbon ceramic brake, my M4 competition, it's just a whole different feeling. And I guess, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be like that because it's Ferrari ceramic, but I didn't find it to be good. I mean, maybe if it's in the race mode and you are really giving it full beans, and when you go for a break you go 100%, maybe it will make sense, but I will never know, because as it is now, the next chance I will be able to drive the car in the summer is in the summer, which is next year, and before that I guess I need to make my decisions. So the last point that I don't like about Roma is the reliability issues, which no one knows, because the car was launched, I guess, like last year, and the first car was seen in 2021, and I know one guy that already has the car. He just said it's awesome, of course, because it's not yet 1 year old.
Tells you when it wants to throw the tail.
Yeah, exactly. You can feel it.
Yeah, you know.
So the whole new electronics, I mean, also like the touch screens everywhere, also like this famous power button, which is not more a button. I'm not quite sure about it, because it's Ferrari, it's Italian. You know, if something goes wrong, first thing first, it will be expensive, and second thing, it might go wrong, and there's not yet enough reviews or experience because the car is still new. And if something goes wrong, first thing first, it's gonna be expensive to repair, and second thing, you might not enjoy your car because it will spend quite some time in the shop. So yeah, and also like how usable it is in daily settings is still also questions. And yeah, and I guess I shouldn't I shouldn't just say, oh, because it's Ferrari and you know, it will be great and this and that. I should just make my decision based on the driving impression, which was actually good. And it's really true, if you're driving a Ferrari, it just feels different. You can feel the emotion, the passion, the whole stuff, the instructors, even the salesman was passionate about this brand, which is good. I think it's attractive. It makes your customer want to buy the car. But yeah, and coming to the last point is that this car sits like price-wise, so it costs 250 grand as it was driven. It sits really close to McLaren GT and also quite close to F83 Buto, which is completely different car, or also like the new 296 GTB and McLaren Artura, also very close to Roma. But in the GT car department, it sits very close with McLaren GT, Bentley GT Continental, and I think also BMW M8 Competition. It is very close price-wise. And I just want to say, if you want to buy a real classic GT, like a GT car in classic sense, you would go for Bentley Continental GT, right? But in the sporty department, I don't know if Roma is better than McLaren GT, because McLaren GT and Ferrari Roma, they have really similar weight, like dry weight, curb weight is very similar, but the McLaren GT has this carbon top, and it also has the mid-engine, and somehow it has more boot. And yeah, so having said that, the next video is about McLaren GT. I'm flying over to Frankfurt to meet up with the salesman and also to take a look around the car and also to hear how it sounds. So if you like this video, then come with me to Frankfurt and we will see and experience McLaren GT. If you like this video, leave a thumb and like. I would really appreciate that, and leave a comment how to make this whole channel better. So having said them all, stay healthy and stay safe. I will see you in the next video. Ciao.